All right, so lesson 1.2, we're going to find the least common multiple. I said we're going to do this with fractions, but this is chapter based. So we're going to see how we can do with fraction in the next chapter. Let's just try to solve this problem. So Liam's organizing two different sports events at his school. The first event, a relay race, will take place every 12 days, and the second event, a soccer tournament, will occur every 15 days. Liam wants to know when both events will happen on the same day so he can plan a special celebration. What is the least number of days from today until both events occur in the same day? Now we're going to have to find the least common multiple. The LCM, or the least common multiple, is the smallest multiple between two numbers. We learned what the GCF means, the greatest factor between two numbers. Just like the GCF, the LCM, or the least common multiple, means the smallest multiple. The factors and multiples are different. As factors mean that things that multiply into the number, and multiples mean that the number has to be multiplied. Like this. It's like creating a pattern of numbers. It's like skip counting from the current number. Now let's first to find the LCM first list the two numbers. In this case, it's 12 and 15. Instead of doing any operation, we can just skip count by the number. We always have to start with the same factor 12. We always have to multiple 12 because 12 equals 2 times 1. Then a multiple just means a product. So we're just going to list a lots of multiples here, or a lots of numbers divided by 12. If you didn't get what I said, it basically just means we're going to keep adding by the number 12, like here, and keep adding by the number 15 here. So we're going to 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 86. Now let's look at the factors. This is the factors, not factors, multiples for 15. I know that 15 times 1 is 15. 15 times 2 is equal to 30. 15 times 3 is 45. 15 times 4 is equal to 60. 15 times no. I'm sorry if I draw so bad. I'm drawing in the mouse pad, which is little really hard. Then we got 75. Then we got 90. 105. Now I list the first. I list a few. I list a few. The first few multiples of that number. Good. Now the least common multiple, common. You see how both LCM and GCM have the word common in it? Least common multiple, greatest common factor. They both have common. So we're gonna find common to this. We're gonna find common numbers. In this case, the common numbers here are 12. Not 12, but 60. Do we see any more that is common in these numbers? No, we do not see any more. When we're done, we're going to list the common multiples of the numbers. A common multiple is when two is basically the same multiples in two numbers. In this case, it's 60. Now, if there's only one number, this is the LCM. The number there is the LCM. Now, this means that we're going to have to finish the problem. The least number of days from today until both events will occur on the same day. The least number of days will be 60 days from now on. Well, now you always to identify word problems, you have to make sure you identify numbers. What is it? What the keywords are. If it means the same day, we're probably gonna find the least common multiple. In this case, the least common multiple means that that means that two numbers that have a lot of multiples have the same number in both numbers. So it's confusing, but I just explained it here. Let's explain it on another example. Again, the least common multiple is the smallest multiple between two numbers. This one the LCM of 5 and 4. To find the LCM, first we're gonna have the list of factors. In this case, the factors are five. Not the factors. The numbers are 5 and 4. Now we're gonna skip count by that number. Starting with 5, we're gonna start with 5. We're gonna start with 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 34, 35, 40, 45. Now let's find some for 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. We keep adding by 4. So our rule is we're going to keep adding by 4. So always rule. We keep adding by 4. A lot. See here, we keep adding by 5. Here we get by 4. 32, 6, 40. Since we list all our multiples down, now let's find the common multiples. Just like the last one, we always have to find our common multiples. Remember, a common multiple is the same multiple that appears in two numbers. I see that one multiple that's common is 20. I see that another multiple that's common is going to count here in 40. Here is a little tip. When you're trying to skip count by 5, you see the end of it starts with 0, 5, 0, 5, continues this. This doesn't have a 0 because it's a one-digit number. But if you want to put it in perspective, you can just put a decimal as 0.0. You can put a decimal as 0.0. It will start at 0 and keep going 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5. As 4 doesn't have a pattern. Probably does because it starts at 8, 2, 6, 0, 4, 8, 2, 6, 0. So the pattern is 4, 8, 2, 6, 0. Right here. The integer is 4, 2, 8, 6, 0. And it'll keep going from there. Alright, so now we're just going to find our common multiples. Which in this case, the common multiples are 20 and 40. Now, since we have two multiples now, it's going to be different. Now we're going to have to find the least one. So we're going to have to find the smallest multiple. The greatest common factor and the least common multiple are different because the greatest common factor involves something that involves bigger, but the least common multiple has to involve something that's smaller. In this case, the smallest number is 20. This means the LCM will be 20. We'll eat 20. Great. Now we found the LCM. We now found the LCM from no problem. We're gonna try this one. You can try this one by yourself. I want you to think about this problem. You can pause the video if you need to. What is the LCM of 2 and 3? Remember the steps. Remember the step of the LCM. Go back a few parts if you want to understand the parts of an LCM. Okay, let's try to solve the problem. Remember, if you can pause the video if you need to. Fortunately, you probably look back. Probably, I'm not saying you did, but probably you look back to see what the LCM was again. Well, according to here, the LCM was basically just the smallest multiple of two numbers. That is the key word, the smallest multiple between two numbers. Now I'm going to have to find the LCM. First, we're going to list numbers. Then we're going to find its multiples. So, in this case, it's these numbers. Now, we're going to list the common multiples of 3. 368, 369. 15, 18, 21. Good. Now we find the common multiples. The multiples. Now, next we find the common multiple. Now, the common multiple is the same multiples of two numbers. In this case, 1 is 6. And 1 is 12. Our common multiples are 6 and 12. This is what we call a set. So it's like two solutions of numbers. So here's a set of 6 to 12. Now the least common multiple is 6. The least number that least number is 6. That's our LCM. I want you to try this one for yourself, and I also want you to try this one by yourself as well. I will list the LCM below when you're done. Actually, I want you to vote in the comments. Do you want me to spoil out the answer, or do you want me to just leave the answer? I just want to leave the question how it was for you to see. All right, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like this. You can pause it if you need to. I'm not gonna tell you the answer right now. I hope you can solve this.